Hey folks, it's Florida Deere. Thanks for joining me today. So I just figured I would do sort of a comparison between these two. And I have to say that there's really not much comparison. So I'll give you a little background. This is my second mini tire changer from Harbor Freight. I had another one I used a couple years, and then I think the screw on it ended up breaking off or something like that. And this time that ended up breaking off, so I can't de-bead the tires. So I wanted to get another one, but they didn't have, we have several Harbor Freights in the area, but the furthest one away is the one that had it. Waited a few days, they didn't have it, so I probably could have got it online or whatever, but anyways, decided to try out the Strong Way from Northern Tool, because we have a Northern Tool not too far away either. Further than the closest Harbor Freight, but closer than the further away Harbor Freight. So anyway, so the difference between the two right off the bat is that this is, I think I purchased this one and the other one for 50 bucks. Now they are up to $60. This was 85 bucks or 84.99, whatever. So I was thinking, well, maybe it was better, you know. But as I look at these two, the only thing I can think of is that there's probably no difference. In fact, they basically look like they were built in the same Chinese factory. So, I mean, as you look at them, I mean, this is even red. It looks like the same exact bolt pattern as the other one. You know, this part is like aluminum up here. They have the little tire thingy that wore out, and then they have a couple of these. Actually, I think I have 3 on this one because I have some from the last one. And then this item here, and then a little doohickey right there. I can't remember what all these things are called, but anyways, same thing here. As you can see, the breakdown is, you know, there we go, made in China. And I'm not sure this one actually says it on there, but I mean, what at Harbor Freight isn't made in China? So anyway, but same thing, you know, the red base, the aluminum cylinder thing or whatever, and then you have the, that's a little tighter than I thought. Same thing here, that you got there. These two, this one came with 2, but it has 3 now because, like I said, it has the other one. And then this is basically the same. This one's a little thicker around than this one, so that's one difference. The screws seem about the same, or the bolts or whatever. These are basically identical as far as I can tell, except for the handle. It's slightly different. This has like a grip on there. This one is just all the way around. So not a lot of difference there. This one was also bent. I think it was the first time I bent one of those. Yeah, I work out, you know, so there's that. The other difference is the rounded part on this one is longer than this one, which might mean that I might keep this one. Well, I'm going to keep it anyway, but, and then that one is a little shorter. Not much, but the rest of the handle seems exactly the same until you get here, and then the Harbor Freight one is slightly longer. I mean, like, I don't know, like centimeter, half a centimeter. Pretty minor differences between the two. So anyways, I guess I would recommend if the Harbor Freight one is available, probably get the Harbor Freight one because it's $25. However, I will do another update video maybe at some point in time in the future. Maybe this Strong Way will last a little bit longer than the Harbor Freight one. I have no complaints with the Harbor Freight one other than, I mean, by the time it breaks, I put through a lot of tires, so I feel like I still do save quite a bit of money. I spent $100 on these 2 tire changers, you know, not these 2, but the 2 Harbor Freight ones. And I've separated and reinstalled a lot of tires that would have cost me a lot more, you know, many times as much as I paid, you know, at a tire shop or, even Walmart was reasonably cheap at one time, and then they got a little more expensive. So we'll do some of the demonstration here as well, and you can see how they work if you're unfamiliar with mini tire changers. Okay, so I changed tires. That one seems to be glued to the rim by a bunch of extra front tires, so I did bust this one loose. This one has a tube in it, so it probably have been separated at some point in time. So before I get around to the other side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take this out. So I like to slip the round part goes up, and then the semicircle goes down. At least that's the way I do it. And then I might have snagged part of the tube. Almost there. There we go. All right, so and that's all the way off. It's not just de-beaded, it's off the rim this way. We'll just take this off. And if you didn't notice, I'm using the new Northern Tool piece right there. And this one actually is the Northern Tool as well, but it as you tighten it, it loosens on the bottom. So I tried to put a nut down there, but that's not going to keep it. I need to put like a nut here or something and figure this out. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way. I checked the Harbor Freight one, and it's actually locked down so it's fixed, like this part. So that's good. I don't know, so that's one edge that the Harbor Freight has, is that it actually works out of the box, where I might need to do some adjustment to that one. So we'll see. I'm gonna give you an update on that. So this is the bead buster, the part that was broken on the Harbor Freight one. So it just goes in there, and you can adjust it here. You can adjust it up and down on the lever too, depending on the size of. If it's a bigger tire, you can bring it out here, and also put it up more for more leverage. This one's obviously an 8-inch rim. Well, maybe it's not obvious, but it is an 8-inch rim. Well, this one. There we go. Cool. All right, that was easier than normal. Again, probably because these tires have been taken off at some point in time to put this rim in. This tube in. This one had been patched too. What about there? Let's see here. How do we want to do this? So sometimes you can just muscle them off from here. But I'm going to try to use, remember exactly how to do this. I'm going to slip that thing in here like that, but you got to get it around. Maybe we need to, yeah, I'll do that. So by the time you're here, you can that's why I have the tie-dye shirt on, because I don't want if I get it dirty and nasty. Changing tires is a dirty, nasty job. So, all right. So the next one we have here again is the 12-inch. I'm hoping to sell these tires. They're not in great shape, but they probably just need tubes. But they're in decent shape, and somebody might want them for just a couple bucks or something. So the first thing we do is take out the needle, or the out of the valve stem. So this particular tire ended up taking quite some time. I can't remember exactly how many minutes I was actually working on it, but it was a good long time just getting the bead off and then trying to figure out how to get a tire that's just been there for many years off can be somewhat challenging. So while these mini tire changers are cheap and relatively efficient, having something like a hydraulic tire changer or taking it to the store can be easier, but you're gonna have to pay for it. So there's a trade-off, of course. As you can see, I'm spending a lot of time on this one tire, and I think the other one came off pretty easily. And that's what you're going to get. You're just going to get some that come off pretty easily, and then some that just take forever to do it. Once I put the PB blaster on it, it did function a little bit better. As you can see here, I'm getting it all flipping around. And then just trying to get it off the rim altogether. The higher the ply rating is, the more difficult it's going to be trying to take it off the rim, because it's just it's just stiffer that way. And then of course if it's an older tire, it's a little stiffer, in addition to the higher ply rating. So anyways, I do eventually get it off, and you'll see the end of this coming up here pretty soon. So in case you're wondering why I'm wearing safety goggles or glasses or whatever, is I've done this a number of times before. And this one was a lot more difficult to get off, and it had either bead sealer on it or like tire green slime or something like that in there. It's all over the place. Well, of course, when I finally broke the bead, there was a little bit of spray that went all over my face. It was the light spray, but it was crap. I definitely don't want that in my eyes. So as you can see, sometimes they put that stuff in there, and I try to avoid that stuff myself, but hey, it's an easy way to repair tires if you have a small leak or can't find the leak or something like that. So anyway, just thought I'd add that in there. So this was a tire and wheel that my father-in-law and myself had, so we're the only two owners, but obviously occasionally some yard hazards will put holes in the tires, so the easy fix is green slime. So it's not a bad idea to wear some eye protection or whatever when you're taking these tires off, because this is probably an extreme example, but as you can see, there's quite a bit of what used to be green slime to seal these tires up. I decided, since I got a return of my rims from the powder coat guy, I go ahead and stick the tires on those rims, and that way there'd be less things to store, because those two items were stored together. And I'll end up putting on the rear tires as well to just kind of keep them off in their spot until they get put on the 316. But this is the go around with the installation on these. So the soap that I'm going to be using is just regular hand soap, just for some level of lubrication. You'll notice that I'm now standing on the bench, and that's just to give me some overall leverage to just shove the tire onto the wheel. And when it's lubricated and you have a newer tire that's probably 2 or 4 ply, generally you can pull this off. You can even pull it off with the larger rear tires, the 12-inch rim, 23-inch tires that I think I should be showing you next, if I can get that video clip to upload. So they generally go on pretty easily if they're new tires. It's just really old tires that are difficult to come off. So it's unadvisable to put the tire on before you put these on. So you'll just be taking the tire back off or trying to. So despite sometimes my best efforts to get a seal on these tires, sometimes they do not seal. So it's going in and come right back out. So we have a bead setter, which is a fun and at the same time sort of scary piece of machinery. So we'll grab our earmuffs. So this has really not much to do with the video comparing the two tire changers together, but this bead setter is a great complementary tool to have with a mini tire changer because it allows you to obviously set beads that might be difficult otherwise, using flammables or using ratchet straps. This is a way better system than either of those two methods to inflate and set beads. As you can see, when I don't know, my video got blurry here, but as you can see all the debris that goes everywhere when these things release an enormous amount of air, which is why I put the hearing protection on. Alright, we got a winner. So who wins this head-to-head comparison between Harbor Freight's Pittsburgh mini tire changer on the left there and Northern Tool's Strongway tire changer on the right? They both performed exactly the same, at least according to my very unscientific experiment here, or testing that I did. Basically, I didn't see any advantage or disadvantage from the Strongway to the Pittsburgh mini tire changer. I can't really comment on longevity because I've only had the Strongway for a little bit of time. So it's possible that could have an edge over time. I don't know. It's hard to say, but right now, based on initial comparison between the two, I would definitely go with Harbor Freight's Pittsburgh mini tire changer, only because it is $25 cheaper. That again was $60. That was $85. They appear to be from the same Chinese factory. There's so many similarities between the two. They made some small, subtle differences in each that we went over in the beginning, but nothing that really was any sort of substantial difference between the two. So, but if you have either one of these, it's always good to have some PB Blaster standing by, just in case. So, anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I'm not trying to dog the Strongway. I'm just saying it was $25 cheaper, or $25 more expensive, excuse me. So, if you have both of them nearby, I would probably go with Harbor Freight. It's rare that I recommend Harbor Freight stuff over anything else, pretty much. But in this particular case, I would say definitely they have the good product here because it's 25 bucks cheaper. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hit the like button for me if you would. And if you want to see more videos on John Deere garden tractors in one series, click the subscribe button. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye.